guys, I'm Liz Madden. I am the co-director of Parisi Speed School in Cherry Hill in South Jersey. I'm also on the Master Coach staff, and I'm happy to be here. Three words I would use to describe myself as a coach. Definitely loud. I feel it's important to have a very present coaching voice, and it's not that you're yelling at someone, it's that you're trying to motivate them, get the best out of them. It's definitely something that can be a learned trait. Some people have it, but I would definitely say I'm more on the louder end. It definitely helps when I coach my teams. Second thing I would say, caring. I really care about each and every kid that I train. I care about how they're doing just in their day. I know right now, mental health is a big thing with a lot of the athletes I train. A lot of them are getting discouraged. A lot of them can't really see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to this stuff. So just kind of keeping them on point, training, just having them understand, there is an end goal with this. And we're going to do our best in the meantime, just to keep everything sharp. So when, everything goes back to normal, they're not skipping a beat. But I mean, I love every kid that I train. They are the funniest kids I have. They definitely make my day. And I wouldn't be training outside for, 8 hours in this heat if I didn't love it. And another word I would use to describe myself, motivated. I know caring and motivated can be kind of similar, but I definitely think if you're not motivated yourself, it's hard to show that to the kids that you're coaching. So I think it's really important to practice what you preach. I'll run right alongside with my kids, especially if I have just one kid that I'm training, and it's hard to do everything by yourself. It's definitely helps a lot when you have someone next to you kind of doing what you're doing, going through everything you're going through. You sweat as much as you're sweating. But I try to, practice what I preach. I do my sprints on the field right after I'm done training my kids. I had one kid today that was like, "Coach, what are you doing?" Because I went on to the field. I was like, "Come on, man, I got to practice what I preach." And I think it helps when the kids see that, I'm not just sitting down, telling them what to do. Like, I'll put your money where your mouth is. All right. And I'll go right with you. Awesome. It kind of sounds cliche, but this exact thing that we do, like taking apart the minute details of what a kid's movements are, that's what I'm very passionate about. And it translates into, training my Parisi kids as well as training my throwers at Rowan, because I'm a coach there. And it's very similar. You're looking at very small movements that when you change one thing, it kind of changes everything about how they move and how they kind of go about the field. But I think, just being, I feel like I'm really passionate about changing and looking at the minute details of what a kid does and how they move. Something that makes a coach successful is being able to explain the same thing about 500 different ways, because kids are visual learners, some are auditory learners, some are a mix. I know for me, I'm more of a visual learner. I use a lot of analogies, and it depends on the age that I'm coaching, the type of analogy that I use. So to give you an example, something that I've been talking to my kids recently that don't really understand how to move their arm action and not, move the shoulders, I'll kind of relate their shoulders to being like the swing set. We want the swing set to stay stationary and the arm acts as the swing. That's the only thing that's moving. And as our arm gets faster, we don't see the swing set moving side to side. And then they're like, "Oh, okay, I got it." But definitely being able to explain the same thing 500 different ways, that's what will get it across to a kid. And it could be just that one little phrase you use, and then they're like, light bulb, and they understand it. It's definitely something I'm aware of because it is a male-dominated industry. As far as the kids I coach, I actually coach a lot of males as opposed to females. I mean, I do have a ton of both, but I actually get a lot more, football players, basketball players, baseball players. I don't know if it's because of my tall stature that they're a-okay with me talking to them about stuff, but I know I'm goofy sometimes when I'm just talking with the kids, but I get down to business, and they know, like the first couple sessions they're kind of like, oh, who's this chick, but then when they hear me talk about the anatomy of the body and how everything's connected and different prehab measures we want to do, and they start seeing the science behind it, they buy in. So I do see the buy-in first from the male athletes. Where I see more of the differences is the conversations and the interactions with other adults, other male trainers, or other, dads. Dads are going to be a big one. But again, as soon as I start talking to them about the science of what we do, they feel very comfortable right away, and they trust me. I feel like I do a good job of explaining why we do what we do. And I know there's a lot of trainers out there that aren't necessarily with Parisi, and they kind of just put you through the motions, and they don't necessarily explain why we do what we do. And I think that's extremely important in having an athlete understand, but also having the parent understand, because all the parent understands is, oh, my kids sweat a lot. Okay, they must have gotten a good workout in, but that's not necessarily the case. What I try to say to parents that I come across, that I come in contact with in regards to that, I say, listen, I'm not in the business of running a kid into the ground, but they're going to sweat just from having to think about everything that they're doing. But yeah, I would definitely say it's actually a little bit better translation with the coach and athlete, but definitely when I come across another male coach, that's when I'll see, I guess you could say, the male chauvinistic type attitude towards that. Not necessarily in the bad way. They may not even realize that they're doing it, but they definitely know, like, oh, this girl's we got a female here, Yeah, but it's all good, start talking about Parisi, and then they just shut up real quick. I would say learn as much as you can about the human body. If they don't have that in their background from college, I know a lot of Parisi coaches that we do have that, anatomy background or exercise science background, but there's a lot of people that don't, and that's a-okay. But I would say if you're a female trying to enter this industry and you haven't had that background, take it upon yourself to educate yourself. If that means getting a CSCS or another certification just to kind of help you understand that, awesome. But I would definitely say the more knowledge you have and the more you can constantly, answer the kid or the parent that has those questions, you're going to be more reliable to them. It would be flying, for sure. I thought about this a lot. Okay, I would love to fly around, all right? Especially, my bum knee that I got here. When it's really hurting, I would love just to pick on up and fly anywhere. That would, oh yeah, easy.